There are 80 million of them out there, and they are taking over the country.
We're not talking about, what is
cicadas.
What are they?
Cicadas.
We're talking about millennials, also known as Generation Yers. They're those 20-somethings who are always texting and tweeting. They move from job to job and seem to be more laid back about life and seem to be very entitled.
And she added that in herself. Or whether you are one or you live with one, you may be surprised with what you're about to learn. Here to explain the millennial generation are psychologist Dale Atkins, who's the other one.
That's the other one. The lady.
The lady is Dale.
Yes.
And Gen Wire, 29-year-old Dan Schawbel, the founder of Millennial Branding. Hey, kids.
Hello. Good to see you both.
All right, so we do have preconceived notions, we should say, about millennials. That
I have two.
That there's a little bit of entitlement going on. There may be a little bit of selfishness going on. There's not as strong of a work ethic. Are we on target?
The media portrays them as very narcissistic and entitled, but I think very differently.
Oh, really? Show us some.
Yes,
show us some data, big boy.
Most diverse generation, most educated generation. They would rather have meaningful work and freedom and flexibility over more money.
Okay.
And even though the economy has hurt them so bad, with a double unemployment rate versus the national unemployment rate, they're the most optimistic generation.
Now, based on what? What is your
what do you think,
your
They
data?
feel like their whole lives are ahead of them and that they can really make a difference in the world.
And I think that they've seen that they can. And one of the things that's so incredible is, as Dan says, they have this sense of optimism. And they see that there are opportunities worldwide, because they're always connected with the world and with one another, of how they can make a difference. They've been affected by 9/11. They've been affected by all of the disasters in the world, by the recession.
So they're resilient, you think?
They are resilient, and they're rewarded for their creativity, which is one of the reasons, as you know, Dan's talking about, when they get into a workplace, they want to be rewarded for their creativity, and they want to be able to be heard.
But that's the optimum thing. When they get into a workplace, they can hardly get a job. So I mean, I'm surprised they're as optimistic, because the ones I talk to are very discouraged.
Right.
Instead of just getting a job, a lot of them are starting businesses or starting nonprofits.
Yeah.
And if they can't have meaningful work in their job, if they can't really give back, and the company doesn't, give back to the community, then they want it to do their own thing.
But some don't have a choice. I mean, I think the older generation obviously stayed in a job for 30, 40 years, and this young group, I think it's interesting that they're not afraid. There's a lot of jumping around from job to job, and no fear, even in this bad economy, that they'll get another one.
Boomers stay 7 years. Millennials stay only 2.
Wow. And what do you base that on?
Just research that we've done.
Yeah. No, I mean, why do you think they're so willing to do that, is my point.
They're looking for opportunities where they feel they'll really fit in, and where they will be heard, as I said before, and where they will feel challenged, and they want to be able to have a sense of, they're not so interested, and Dan's done so much of this research, in moving up the corporate ladder, but really being able to feel that they can make a contribution. And while they're at a job, often they are very intentional in their work, but they're also noticing what else is out there. And if something else suits them as they're growing, they're going to make another job.
I can see you looking at it that way, but there's another way to look at it as well, which is we are such a disposable world, and we want everything like this. We see a lot of young people come through here who want our job right away. They want to start out little and get, do the jobs, and there is some of that, which is an entitlement thing. Like, wait a minute, you got to do the work to get the thing,
Another interesting thing is millennials are millennializing older generations. Think about grandmas who are on Facebook in order to interact with millennials. Millennials are forcing you to use the technology in order to interact with them, so now all of us are kind of becoming a little bit more narcissistic. We're putting our expression out there. We're letting people know what we're up to.
But to your point, Kathy Lee, I think it's really important that one of the things that people in an older generation can really teach the millennials is what it means to be committed and work hard to get where you want to go, so that it isn't that you walk in here and you're there. There's a possible wonderful interaction where both generations, all generations, can teach each other.
In a perfect way.
Thank you, kiddos.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Dale.